Welcome back to Joe Tom King Field here at Gulf Coast State College, here at the softball field. And we're going to work on some basic fundamental catch and throw stuff here today. It's a beautiful day. We're all still staying in and making sure we're doing the right things with the coronavirus still going around. So these are some things that you can do as far as just practicing your backyard with your parents, or maybe it's a brother or sister that you're going to be working with. The things that we're going to be working with is going to be, at first, is going to be very fundamental, basic stuff. And then I'm going to give you a drill that we can take up all the way through to things that we use here at Gulf Coast. So I've got my assistant again with me, Tanai Tucker, and we're going to go through a couple things, especially with catching and throwing. Now, because of what we talk about here at Gulf Coast, I've got my anchor hat on today. So my anchor hat is, there's two things that we talk about with anchors, okay? We talk about anchor down, okay? Which anchor down is when the ship's at rest, and the Commodores, which we don't have Commodores in the Navy anymore, but in the old ships, they would be preparing the ship. We're anchoring down. We're trying to get ready for deployment. And right now, that's kind of what we're doing right here. We're kind of anchoring down. Once we get going, it's anchors away. But right now, because of what we're doing right now, it's anchor down. So we're going to anchor down here a little bit, learn a little fundamentals. So to start out with, we're going to talk about, everybody comes up to me, and you probably get this too, Coach. People say, what do we need to teach in our practices with our Little League? Okay, and the thing that comes to me right off the bat, besides the obvious of hitting, is catching and throwing. Where games get completely out of hand at the younger age, it's because they just don't catch and throw very well, and they're not spending enough time on catching and throwing and being taught how to do that properly. Okay, so we're going to talk about the throwing piece to start out with. Okay, first of all, there's several things we got to think about. One is just purely how to hold a softball. Okay, so Coach, show them the grip and talk about your grip right there, how you would hold the ball.
I've always been taught the four seams. So if you look at the ball this way, all four seams are coming at you or going away from you. And so I've always been taught I have bigger hands. So I have 3 fingers on there. Some kids are going to have 4 fingers on there and your thumb behind it. Some people, pitchers, all of that are going to use 2 seams. So they're going to go this way. But I think as a young kid, it's easier to pick up the ball this way and feel the seams and be able to throw it a little bit easier.
Okay, so that's really just a great fundamental way of looking at how we're going to grip the ball. Notice how Coach didn't have that ball tucked back into her hand. She's got it, turn it over there, Coach. She's got a little space in here. She's holding the ball out in her fingers. She's not holding it back in here like she's throwing a shot put. So that's an important piece, is to hold the ball out into the fingers. When we're trying to grab the ball out of a glove after catching it, the key is to grab seams. Okay, you're not always going to be able to look in your glove and say, okay, I've got 4 seams or I got 2 seams, but what she's showing is exactly the way it needs to be thrown. It needs to be thrown with a 2 or 4 seam, or sometimes it's going to come out a little bit sideways, and that's okay, as long as we got some kind of seams to throw against. Okay, so now I'm going to have her act as if she's going to be throwing the ball to me. Okay, and she's just going to start out just kind of this flat-footed. Everything we do is going to be kind of a balanced, fundamentally balanced. We're not going to try to throw the ball off balance. Okay, we talked about this in our T drills. So one of the things she's going to do is let's watch her get ready to make a throw, and let's see what happens first in her throw to me. Okay, so the first thing she does is she steps with her right foot, and then she opens up, and look at what happens here. Okay, so her glove side gets to her target. I'm the target. Her glove side gets to the target. She steps with her left foot if she's right-handed. She's going to step with her right foot if she's left-handed. But she steps with her left foot to her target, okay? And then look what she's doing here. This is kind of an interesting piece right here, okay? Notice that we always say she's like she's reaching back and going to pick a ball, an apple off of a tree, okay? And notice her hands are this way and not turned this way, okay? That allows no wrist flip, and it's like she's going to be pushing a ball. So she wants to have the back of her hand to her target. okay? This glove's gonna be here just a little bit, and she's gonna lead with her glove hand as she steps through. Go through slow motion, coach. She's gonna step through, and then she's gonna throw here. Huh?
Said it's harder slow motion.
Yeah, I know, you gotta step with that foot. So you do, go back and do it the other way.
I'll go through it.
Yeah, go through it again. So, see, now, there she goes, okay? So she's stepping with her left foot. It's a little hard. I already had her stop, so she was kind of already in between motion, okay? But that's what you're gonna do. The biggest thing that I see is players when they're younger is they step without turning their body. They'll turn, even if they step with the correct foot, they'll throw this way, okay? Or maybe they step with the wrong foot, okay? They're stepping, but it's the opposite foot that from your throwing hand that you're gonna be using, okay? So when you turn your body, it's gonna be here, all right? So another thing that she does here is watch this. Watch where her elbow is as she gets through. So, yeah, just to me, stop. Okay, the elbow is high, okay? The elbow's up here. It's not down in here where she's throwing like this. I always say this is like you're throwing it like a chicken wing, okay? That you're throwing it here. It's really tight to the body. Some people may say T-Rex arms, okay? We can't do anything like that, okay? We're gonna get the elbow is gonna lead, and the elbow is leading, and then the hand follows, but the elbow is gonna be up at about the shoulder height, okay? So let's go ahead and, she's gonna throw a couple here to me. Watch her, she's stepping with her left foot and following through. She doesn't stop her arm, she follows through with her throw. Let's do two more. Very good, elbows high. Elbows not tucked to her body. Very good, very good. Now, I'm gonna incorporate something else, and I'll tell you what, Coach, you hold this, and I'm gonna get this ball right here. So this is one drill that we use, and you can utilize this when you're younger, all the way up through, we have our outfielders and our catchers throwing this ball a lot of times. And sometimes we'll put electrical tape around the ball, okay? And in this case right here, I've taken a marker, okay, and I've just drawn a line. Coach was talking about a four seam, grabbing across four seams. This ball is actually set up for a four seam, okay? So if she throws the ball correctly, this is what's gonna happen with the ball. You're gonna see basically a black line go around in a circle. But now if she throws it sidearm, the ball's gonna go this way, and it's gonna have more chance to tail away and not reach your target. Or maybe she throws it this way and it dives away from her target. But the biggest thing is to throw it like this. So if I'm an outfielder, I'm trying to make a long throw. If it stays on the correct path, this ball will be, end over end reverse, okay? Spinning backwards all the way to the target, whether it's a base or to a cutoff, all right? Catchers the same way. If they're throwing the ball to second base, they don't want the ball to tail when it gets to second. They want it to be dead on the money so that shortstop or second baseman, whoever's fielding the ball there, sees it coming, okay? And knows where it's going to be and not having to chase the ball to be able to make a tag. So I'm going to put this in Coach's hands. She's going to line it up with her fingers and maybe able to, I'm hoping we'll be able to see the spin of the ball. Okay. Okay, she came across her body a little bit there. I'm not throwing it very well going back either, but. All right. Now, throw it, Coach, where it's going to be kind of sideways. All right, so I didn't really know where that ball was going to be because it had a tail to it, okay? Regular. All right, so that's just a good little drill for us to look at the correct spin and whether we're coming through and snapping our wrist through efficiently. The other thing, and I think that's probably something I should have talked about, get the wrist snapped really quick. Just as you're coming through. Watch when she gets here, she doesn't just push it. She snaps her wrist and then the ball comes off of her fingertips here, okay? So that's just a good way of doing that with being able to throw the ball, and you can utilize this. You guys that are catchers are a little bit older, I challenge you guys to go ahead and put some electrical tape around it, draw you a line, make sure you're throwing the ball in a straight line so your second basemen, third basemen, even the corner players who you may be throwing balls, trying to throw runners out, can get an opportunity to see that spin of the ball and be more efficient with it. As you guys that are younger, it's just going to help you guys to be a better thrower in the game. And again, it's all about catching and throwing. In our next series, we're going to talk about catching and fielding ground balls.